I could hear my wife screaming and cursing at me in the background until my sister-in-law started screaming at her and showing the pictures. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, I Found My Wife Is Having an Affair After 25 Years and She Was Served Today. And a big shout out to Martha for sending me this story. And guys, this story is yet another story about a guy. He is 56 years old, his wife's 49, married for 25 years. And I might add, this guy is super, super wealthy. You're going to see in the story that this guy, he started a business like 20-some years earlier and was unbelievably successful, and he sold the company for like $100 million. So after all the investors were paid and the partners were paid, this guy made out quite well. And not long later, he found out his wife was cheating. And you're going to see that this guy in the story, while incredibly successful and smart, he's one of these guys that's on the spectrum, if you will. So he doesn't exactly pick up on social norms and things like that. You guys probably get what I'm talking about here. And clearly, his wife married him because she saw his potential, of the lifestyle she could live with being with him, etc., etc. And so she never expects him to get caught, let alone him kicking her to the curb. And she's having a meltdown and drama and all that. And once again, this shows that to be very, very careful, obviously, who you get in a relationship with, especially who you marry. And if you're the type of guy that knows darn well that women aren't beating down your door to get with you, but all of a sudden you start making a lot of money and now they're interested, that'll tell you everything you need to know, okay? You have to be very, very careful. And people in your life that treat you like this, kick them to the curb. No different here. So it starts off, says here, as some background, I, a 56-year-old male, found out from my wife's friend Katie that my wife, a 49-year-old, has been having an affair with Katie's ex-husband and may have led to their divorce. So not only is this lady a snake, cheating on her husband after 25 years, and guarantee this wasn't her first rodeo, she's hooking up with her best friend's ex-husband, and that probably led to the divorce. How nice. Now this is relevant. I have TS and ASD, so I really don't pick up on social cues, innuendos, etc. at all. My sister is an attorney at a big law firm. Me and two of my friends started a company in 1999, always made very good money, and sold it in 2021 for $101 million. Holy shit. So after 20 years, I was an overnight success. Yeah, the old joke, took 20 years to become an overnight success because nobody hears about you until you have that big payday. My sister in the law firm has helped me every step of the way and obviously know my shortcomings. Like I don't really understand the concept and valuation of money, but I'm a prodigy when it comes to physics. In high school, they thought I was developmentally disabled, but in the process of diagnostic testing and found that I had ASD and I can't pronounce the damn thing. You guys can, well, I'll come back to that later. Wealth managed by my sister and the law firm. I met my wife while getting my PhD. She was outgoing and I am not. Her friends were amazed that she was dating me. Right. Well, they shouldn't have been that amazed because obviously, I'm sure they're probably gold diggers too. I only have 4 friends, H and W, and a roommate from college and his BF. They're not huge fans of my wife because they could probably see her through her bullshit. My wife was always intrigued by my childhood. My mom died suddenly, cerebral aneurysm, when I was 13. Dad unable to adapt, so my sister, older than me by 6 years, essentially raised me, and we were feral. Before my wife, I was a virgin until I was 25 or so because I was socially awkward with TS and ASD, and I was not the guy that women wanted to date. So, like I said here, now he's obviously someone on the spectrum, if you know what I mean. Women weren't beating down the door to get to him, but she was interested in him. She no doubt saw his potential. And like I said, he's 25 until he lost his virginity to her. Gotta be so careful, guys. I know you all want to believe, you dating relationship guys, that the movies will be right, and you'll meet that girl one day and she'll see who you really are, and she'll realize the bad boys are garbage and go for you. But the reason she's going for you, if nothing's changed about you since your childhood, is because what you can provide. It's an ugly reality which a lot of guys must accept and be careful. So I spent my free time working out, running, etc. I'm in great shape and have been since high school. Typical CrossFit body. Well, it's interesting because guys like this typically aren't in great shape, but he is. Women would and still do come up to me, but pretty quickly realize something is off. So I'm picturing him being a good-looking guy, in good shape and all that. But then when they go talk to him, they realize that they're dealing with Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory, if you know what I mean. I asked her not to reveal that I was a virgin because it was embarrassing. She was and is my only experience. We've been married for 24 years. She told a group of friends thinking it was a cute story, and now it's the butt of their jokes and comments. Number one, not cool. Number two, no surprise. She, of course, told all her girlfriends that this guy was a virgin until they got together. And they're all probably like, no shit, given, obviously, his personality. Guys, women talk. End of story. I guarantee if you're watching this, you have a girlfriend, or you're in a marriage, the odds are extremely high, extremely with a capital E, that at least one of your wife's girlfriends knows how big your you-know-what is, what your favorite position is, how long you last, etc. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Women are watching this, they're like, SSM, shut the fuck up. Trust me, their girlfriends know. I feel completely embarrassed and emasculated. I finally lost it one day and physically threw one of her friend's husbands out of the brew pub and returned to my seat to finish my salad. So this dickhead was making fun of him and he threw him out. They didn't expect that from him. Sheldon Cooper wouldn't do that. Everyone was in shock because I never say or do anything and I was completely unemotional. Hello, ASD. Wife lost it because I embarrassed her in front of her friends. Days later, Katie contacted me for the proof of the infidelity. So they're making fun of him, her husband, who gives her this lifestyle. And he defends himself and puts that guy in his place, and she's defending the friends, not the husband. That tells you everything you need to know. My sister and her law firm basically required prenup agreements before marriage, which she executed after speaking to an attorney. She will get $250,000, her personal property, and a vehicle. If she contests, she risks everything and would likely lose. So maybe $600,000. My sister basically had everything ready to go, but because she anticipated this years ago. His own sister, who obviously has kept an eye on him all these years, and she sounds like an awesome sister, she could see from the get-go who this woman was, but obviously he married her anyway. And obviously, when he was younger, less wise. The firm also investigated my wife and found out that she had multiple profiles and multiple dating apps. That seems to be the key nowadays. Katie's ex is basically broke. The wife's hooking up with a broke guy, huh? Wife hasn't worked since she was 25. A BS in anthropology and essentially no work experience. I have 2 houses, one each on each coast. I'm back east right now and I arrived last night. The house in California is being renovated, so wife has been staying with her sister or at a resort. The investigator said that she actually started staying with her boyfriend. She was served the divorce papers last night, and now she was going into her spin class. She's been calling and texting nonstop, and everybody knows. Katie called me to tell me that she is hysterical. She is hysterical. She's the one that's having the affair. Probably multiple. She's probably been cheating on him before they even got together, before they even got married. She said, okay, this guy's my meal ticket, but I'll have my bad boys on the side. I guarantee you this is not the first rodeo for her. I felt bad about doing this to her. Smack. Remember you said you don't have feelings, or the feelings don't compute, or whatever the hell what I put together from him saying those types of things. Don't feel bad for her. I spoke to her sister-in-law briefly yesterday. My sister-in-law is divorced. Her ex cheated on her. What a family. She didn't believe it until I forwarded some of the texts and pictures. I could hear my wife screaming and cursing at me in the background. Why is she screaming and yelling at him? He's the one that was cheated on. It's not my fault. I was uncomfortable. I heard my wife say, no, please, no. It was a mistake, etc. It was always a mistake. I told my sister-in-law, I'm sorry, but I have to go. The wife will stay with her. I own both houses before marrying, so both are on my separate property. Awesome. I have to go back out to California in a week, but I'm glad I don't have to be there. She could come out east, but at a symposium, so she doesn't really know where I am. My sister made it clear that she and her friends and family should stay away, and my sister's reputation in law is that she is not trifling. So I am divorcing my only relationship I ever had. I'm not angry. I understand I could give her I understand I couldn't give her the happiness she desired. I will not reconcile to keep my relationship, but I forgive her and hope she will forgive me one day. Dude, she doesn't have to forgive you. You didn't do anything wrong. You know, she knew who she was marrying. She knew, obviously, that, like I said, on the spectrum, if you will. So there are social things that this guy's not going to get and just, not be the guy that women are beating down the door to get to. He said flat out. He works out a lot, keeps himself in shape. Women look at him, approach him, but then the second they start talking to him, they realize they're dealing with Sheldon Cooper. And if you don't know who Sheldon Cooper is, look it up, guys. But he didn't do anything to her. She knew who she was marrying. And she had enjoyed a very nice life because of, obviously, his income and then the payday from the sale of his company. But I don't feel bad for her. And she's got some nerve. But I will say this, I just hope he doesn't go around with anger in his heart the rest of his life, because that just is detriment to him. Don't let her do that to him. It says here, so this is my life. The certainty of a routine and predictability gone. People say it is her fault, but I must have failed her in some manner. It is her fault. Come on, dude. Not cool enough, not good looking enough, and not fun enough. I don't know. For a brief time I was pretty normal and it was amazing, but that is all in the past. I'm 56 years old right now with a number of issues. I will never marry again and doubt I will ever have another relationship. Brother, you're not missing out. And besides, if you are worth... They sold the company for $100 million, and after the investors were paid, and the debtors were, whoever they owed money to was paid, and the partners were paid, I'm sure he's still quite loaded. He obviously can't trust anybody, and because are they marrying me for my money? Are they nice to me because of my money? That's an unfortunate thing if you got a lot of dough and everybody knows about it. But you're not missing out, not being married. I've accepted that, and I'm not bitter. I'm realistic. I showed Katie the original post, and she started crying, saying it was so sad and hopeless. I don't understand her reaction, and then I realized she and most people expected to have some interpersonal relationships, so to acknowledge that you won't is a shock. Yeah, a lot of people that are emotional and need people in their lives can't understand people that don't need people, And guess what? There are a lot of guys out there, more and more each day. Maybe you, if you're watching this, wherever you are in the world, you've reached a point that you're happy doing your own thing. You don't need a wife or girlfriend or hell, even many relationships. For me and a lot of people with ASD is operating condition, or normal. We have a difficult time forming relationships, but desperately want them. So we exist each day in a constant state of loneliness and frustration. Well, bro, I recommend you get yourself an amazing dog. Or a couple dogs. Go down to the animal shelter, see a couple dogs that nobody really wants, adopt a couple dogs. They will be loyal and love you the rest of your life, and that's all you really need. And when you need to get some every once in a while, you can hire a very high-priced, and obviously clean escort. Although, I wouldn't do that personally, but a lot of guys do. I'm just throwing that out there. And maybe now you can spend the rest of his life, donating, working with charities or something important to his heart. Who knows? But he can have plenty of fulfilling, meaningful things going on in his life and doesn't need a freaking wife that he can't trust. Now, as an update here, he says here as a background, well, he gives a little background on the whole thing, and he mentions also in his background, before I go to the update here, that they never had any kids, because I was wondering that too. Thank God, no kids. And anyhow, it says as the update, I spoke to my wife today, first time since she was served. She is with the sister-in-law. She expressed remorse and asked about reconciliation. I said, relationship is over. Good for him. Of course he wants reconciliation. That multi-millionaire lifestyle is gone. She'll get something out of the divorce, but she can't live the lifestyle she did before. She's going to be having to go, instead of shopping at the top-end places now, she's going to have to go to Target. The Targets aren't being protested or boycotted. She suggested a one-way open relationship for me and just me open. There you go. That just shows she doesn't give a shit about him. That's like giving a fish a hang glider. I don't pick up on social cues, and I'm very introverted. Women not lining up to get with me is understandable. Not my thing anyway, so no thank you. She gave me a timeline of the affair. I don't understand why. Apparently she didn't sleep with Katie's ex until after the divorce. Apparently one of the other friends did. these people need to move away from the shallow end of the gene pool. So not only is his ex, but also one of their friends was hooking up with the ex-husband of the other friend. I know this is confusing, but the point is they're all lowlives. No doubt all bored housewives to wealthy guys who just screw around behind their backs, and it's a big drama fest. It's like those stupid shows, the Housewives of Atlanta, the Housewives of Jersey, or the New Jersey, whatever the fuck they call those things, you know what I'm talking about here. She signed whatever divorce papers needed to be signed and agreed not to challenge prenup. Good. Asked if she could tell me something now that she has no monetary incentive to lie. Okay. And that's when she told me a little story. I thought she couldn't have a kid due to an earlier abortion. I was told the abortion happened 2 months before we met. She said that because she was embarrassed. There was no abortion. She was severely S-word assaulted when she was 15. Severely. How severe? He died in prison, but if he hadn't, he'd be in jail because he was a serial rapist. I have to be, watch what I say here. I knew she was in the hospital for months at that age from her family stories. She's been in therapy for the entire time I've known her, and an awful lot of holes in her life story to get filled quickly by this. So he married a damaged gal. No surprise there. And she told him all this time we couldn't have kids because she had the procedure when she was younger, and well, none of us would be surprised about that. My sister, a lawyer, confirmed there is a sealed record and report in connection to my wife that fits the timeline and would be indicative of the same. Would have been a good idea. This is only backing up why it's so guys should get a PI to investigate a gal before they get married, to find out things about their past. And right here, the sister, who he's got the money and connections to find out dirt on anybody, found there was a sealed record. You might want to know what that is. She has an older mentor, Connie, and she would see them a couple times a year. I can never understand the mentorship because my wife doesn't work with Connie. It retired a couple of years ago, and the director of a SA victim support organization. I think you can guess why. At this point, my head is spinning because when Connie retired, guess who became the new director? Katie. It turns out that Katie and my wife were in the group together. That's how they met. That's the same way all my wife's female friends met. They were all in support groups together or met through the support group. So all his wife's friends, his now ex-wife, all met through support groups because they were all had a lot of crazy shit happen to them when they were younger. Whether that, and sure, what she described and with the other people wasn't their fault, but regardless, they're all damaged individuals. Birds of a feather flock together. And I'm sure there was other things in there that, by their own doing, caused issues for them to be in these support groups. But the point is, they're all damaged and screwed up. This is why you do your homework on who you get together with and marry. The worst part now is that every odd or inconsistent thing about that group makes sense. My sister-in-law confirmed, as did Katie, sister confirmed that every female in that group either has a sealed file or listed as a victim of SA. You guys can probably figure out SA, S-word abuse, I guess, if publicly available. I asked, why didn't you tell me? And she didn't want me to think she was damaged. Of course she didn't tell him these things because she knew he probably wouldn't be interested. It is amazing the things that people keep from their spouses, who they marry. It is unbelievable. Pandora's box opens if they were honest about that. And I don't care, man or woman, you deserve to know what you're getting into, who you're marrying. You should be a completely open book, in my opinion. And it goes both ways. Men lay it all out, lay all the cards on the table for her, and she lays it all for him. But the reality is, sadly, the gals have way, way, way more on the table, and they're not going to say because they know the guys would be running for the frickin' hills. Sister-in-law confirmed, as did Katie. Sister confirmed that every female in the group has a sealed file, blah, blah, blah. I read that part. The therapist said that she thinks my wife had an affair hoping to get caught or to sabotage the marriage because she couldn't have children. So here I am right now. Now what? I asked my sister what she would do, and her response was, it only matters what you would do. This is my life. This shit show is my life. So it ends there, and they've obviously been divorced, or she's accepted the terms of the divorce, and they're close. But right when they're about to divorce, that's when the wife throws out the stuff about her past. In my opinion, hoping that he feels bad and gives her a second chance. And I don't care how, if it's true what happened in her past, where, as was described, a serial rapist, I have to be careful what I say here, did awful things, that is terrible. Fair enough. But she should have told him. It doesn't give her the excuse for being a cheater. and amongst probably many other things that happen down the road. And again, what I say is, watch out who your girl or wife hangs out with. All her friends, they met in that group, and they're all damaged. And they probably have wealthy husbands too that married and want to be the white knights, but you can't do that. So I guess the point of this whole story is, guys, regardless how long you've been married, if your gal is cheating on you or does some awful thing, you kick them to the curb, because they're not going to change. She's damaged. She's been damaged her whole life. And also, you must really do your homework on who you get together with. Okay, and it goes both ways. Men should be honest with their gal who they marry or plan to marry about their past, all the details. And I don't just mean dating and your number and all. I mean, all sorts of stuff. And women need to be open and honest too. And if that means that person may walk away, then so be it. But because eventually things will come out, you know. That's what I think about that. But anyhow, good for him kicking to the curb. I hope he sticks with that. I think he will. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.